Coming up at 5, we're learning more about the downtown shooting that injured popular rapper Sauce Walka. His family with more information on his status.
Plus, a live look outside as thunderstorms are rolling in, damaging wind gusts and hail possible. A check of the radar just seconds from now.
Plus, congressional representatives all across the country facing the heat from frustrated community members in fiery town halls nationwide. What's got them so hot? Well, we'll tell you. It's 5 o'clock and ABC 24 News starts now. Thanks for joining us on ABC 24 News at 5. Joined right off the top with meteorologist Trevor Birchett. Trevor, let's get to work.
Well, you know, we just promised you those stories, and unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to be taking over the rest of the newscast. We just had a thunderstorm warning issued for Shelby County and the city of Memphis. So we're going to kind of pivot from what we had planned, and we'll just jump into straight severe weather coverage mode. Let's get to weather 2 now, and we'll start out with a live look outside, just kind of show you what's happening in Memphis. The answer right now is not much, but the entire Mid-South is under that tornado watch, and you see the darkening skies off in the distance. This is for a thunderstorm that is off in Cross County, Arkansas. It's moving into northern Crittenden County near Turl, and that is what they have just issued this severe thunderstorm warning for. So again, we're going to continue with continuous severe weather coverage now because of this severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. This is this new yellow box here that's going to go for northern Crittenden County and also the northern portion of Shelby County. This includes Fraser, parts of Raleigh, Millington, Shelby Forest, and at least portions of southern Tipton County. And this warning is going to go in effect until 5:45. So unless that is canceled early, we are going to stay right here with you until then. Now, you might have heard me mention, and a lot of folks have been talking about, yes, we are in a tornado watch. That tornado watch is in effect until 11 p.m. tonight. But the biggest concern continues to be damaging wind gusts and hail. That's what we're seeing in this storm. It's coming right up to Turl, north of Parkin on 64, right there at the 55 and 555 split. So this is not a tornado warning right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for damaging wind gusts and hail. There is a low tornado risk today. It's the middle of March in Memphis. We cannot rule out a tornado. That's why they've gone ahead and put out the tornado watch just to be safe. But the biggest issue today is going to be the damaging wind gusts and hail. And that's what has just been issued here for this severe thunderstorm warning. A strong storm. This passed through Cherry Valley in northern Cross County a bit ago, produced some small hail there. But just looking at this, it seems like it's getting more and more intense. Those purples that are showing up there, just north of Earl, that's where we have some pretty good sized hail. And there's 55 between Clarkdale up to Turl at the 555 split. So nobody needs to be driving right now on 55. I would say north of Marion or south of Osceola, because that's where this storm is crossing, and it is going to produce some potentially damaging hail. Just to kind of give you an idea of where the largest hail is now, it's going to be where these purples are showing up. So here's Yellow Store Road, Smoky Alley Road, County Road 102, that's in northern Crittenden County. Here's 42, where 118 splits off to go down to the south. There is probably some very large hail falling there now, and that is going to move off to the east. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, just to give you kind of a wide view. Again, this is just about to cross 55 near Turl, and will eventually be an issue for northern Shelby County and parts of Tipton County. Now, I will tell you, it looks like this particular storm will be north of most of the city of Memphis. Here's Memphis, there's the 240 loop, downtown sets here. So this hail core, where the largest hail is probably going to be more of an issue for Shelby Forest, Millington, out toward Rosemark, and then southern Tipton County. The largest hail will probably ride right along there. So while we're thinking of that, let's get a storm track on this and just kind of give you an idea of where this is going to be over the next few minutes. This is all moving off to the east at about 40 miles an hour. So I'm going to track the highest potential of hail. So this is your hail potential now as we're tracking it out. Again, if you're just joining us, we are in continuous severe weather coverage mode on ABC 24. I'm meteorologist Trevor Birchett. We are watching a thunderstorm in northern Crittenden County, Arkansas. that is producing some pretty large hail and damaging wind gusts. There's no tornado concern with this right now. I know we are in a tornado watch, but what we're watching for with this storm is the large hail and the high wind gusts. It's going to be near Clarkdale, Arkansas at about 5:12, Sloanville at 5:36, Millington at 5:41, Munford at 5:49, Arlington at 6:01. So that's your heads up. If you can get your car pulled in your garage, if you're in Millington or points east out toward Arlington, I would go ahead and try to pull my car in, because this could be some really destructive hail that's just about to cross over Interstate 55. I'll tell you what, if we can, I have on Weather 4 a live camera. This is from Arkansas. This is from near the 55 and 555 split in Turl, Arkansas. And this is going to give us a live view, because that storm is passing really close to that camera location. Again, that's over on Weather 4. If we can get that pulled up, I'll kind of give you an idea of what things are looking like down there. And that is going to be, here we go. So this is a live look. This is 55 at 5:55 in Arkansas. The storm's just really now beginning to come into this area. Fortunately, it looks like not many cars on the road, but you should not be driving right now in this area if you can. Again, this is near Turl, Clarkdale, throughout Crittenden County, Arkansas. We have another view now, I believe, from not too far away. Rich, where did you say this other one was? Okay, this is Tyronza, Arkansas, we're about to show you here, and this is a little bit further outset from the storm, so not much rain there yet, but you definitely can see the darkening skies that are coming on in. And as a matter of fact, if we can go back to Weather 2, I know we're kind of tossing you around a little bit here, so I appreciate the folks in the back. This is a look from Midtown, so there's downtown Memphis there, and you can see the darkening skies off to the north where that storm is going to pass. So again, the hail and the wind threat with this storm, it's going to be more of an issue for Millington and Shelby Forest, and especially even over toward Turl, Arkansas right about now. So what you want to do is stay away from windows, get everybody inside, especially with that lightning and the hail. You do not want to be outside in that. And I wonder if I can move this camera just a little bit more off to the north and west and just kind of get a better view of these storm clouds as they are coming in. And we're not getting a great view here. We're several miles away from the thunderstorm. So this storm in particular will probably not impact downtown Memphis all that much, but as we look off to the north and west, this is off towards Shelby Forest and Fraser. You can see the darkening skies there as that storm is rolling on in. National Weather Service also noting there could be an increasing potential for some wind with this thunderstorm. And again, if you're just checking in with us, I know we've got March Madness all over the place. People are trying to figure out what's going on, right? So if you are just joining us, maybe switching over from the game, we're with you now because we have a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Crittenden County, northern Shelby County, and a portion of Tipton County, southern Tipton County, closer to Atoka and Drummonds. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go until 5:45. Now, there is a tornado watch for everybody, but I'm more concerned today about the hail and the wind. There is a very low tornado threat. That's why they've put that watch out, but I'm not concerned about that right now with this storm. What I'm watching for is the high wind gusts and the possibly extremely large hail. Right there at 42 and 118 in Arkansas, coming right into Turl. You see that purple blob there? That's Bob Wright White Road at 42, just about to come up to 55 and 42 there. Let's take that camera if we have it. We've got a live picture from near Turl, from near this location, and man, look at that. You could see not only is the rain coming down hard, we probably have some hail mixed in there. It could be some large hail in a matter of moments. We also have extremely high wind gusts here. You see just how much it is shaking that camera around. So nobody should be driving on I-55 between really West Memphis up toward Osceola. Again, this is at Turl, and this is really not even the worst of the storm yet. That hail core, where the largest hail is just about to cross over 55. So nobody should be driving on 55. We could have hail up to an inch near Turl, Arkansas right now. I want to keep an eye on this camera. If you see anything, let me know. But for now, I want to go back to the radar, and I'll try to watch that camera here and see if anything else develops out of that. But again, this is a very pronounced signature for some hail. That's one of the main things we were concerned about today. Just about to cross I-55 between Turl and Clarkdale. There's Clarkdale right there. And eventually, of course, this is going to be an issue for northern Shelby County. Not only the hail, but also the wind. Let's check out the wind. That's something the National Weather Service is talking about. And yeah, some very high wind gusts in here. This is crossing 55 now, just to the north of Clarkdale. We're talking about 60-mile-an-hour winds, and that's crossing 55 right now between Clarkdale and Turrell. Now, something we are going to watch for, again, like we said, tornadoes are not our biggest concern today. Hail and wind is, but there is a tornado watch. It's the middle of March. It can happen. And what I'm going to watch for in here is if these winds can start to turn just a little bit. For now, most of the wind is what we call straight line winds. It's going from one direction to the other. But at some point, they could start to twist a little bit. That could produce a quick tornado in this area. So we're going to watch that. There's no tornado warning right now. But what you're seeing here is the different wind directions. Red is going in one way. Green is going in another. So when you start to see them close together like that, it could indicate a little bit of rotation up in the clouds. Again, we don't have that right now. No indication or report of a tornado with this, but it's something I want to watch very carefully, especially if you're along Highway 77 between Clarkdale and Turrell. Man, let's check that camera out again. Turrell, Arkansas right now. I told you the worst of the storm was still coming. And this is really close to where that wind signature is, the wind and the hail signature. And I hate to see people driving on Interstate 55 there with the high wind gusts and the hail. This is not a storm that you want to be driving around in because this is a mean storm near Turrell, Arkansas. Crossing 55 right now, I mean, you can see it right there. The rain, there probably is a little bit of hail falling right now. You just might not be able to see it. And of course, the high wind gusts. We could be seeing 60-mile-an-hour winds right now as we are crossing over Interstate 55 near 555. We've got another camera here near this area. I believe this one is at the 555 and 55 interchange, kind of just starting to come in there. You can see the wind blowing the rain around. And again, another big concern with this is going to be the hail as well. I do want to put another storm track on this if we could take me full for just a second. We'll track this out because this is in Arkansas right now, but it's quickly crossing the river into Tennessee and then into the Memphis metro area. So this storm is going to be an issue for northern Shelby County within a matter of 20 to 30 minutes. So I know right now it is dry in Shelby County, but Millington especially, Shelby Forest especially, that northern portion of Shelby County, we're going to have to watch very carefully because we could easily have the same high wind gusts and hail moving across the river here in just a matter of minutes. Our track has it in Millington at about 5:44. So if you have a garage or a carport, now would be a great time to get that vehicle inside. You have about 30 minutes in Millington before the worst of this storm gets to you. If it continues east, could be an issue for Atoka, could be an issue for Arlington, could clip the northern side of Lakeland here. But this is mainly going to be a northern Shelby County affair. This storm will not impact most of the city of Memphis. This is going to stay through northern Shelby County. Again, this is for a threat of damaging wind gusts and hail. I want to go back to our Midtown camera, and this is looking kind of off into the storm. You see those darkening clouds for sure off in the distance. It's hard to see anything in detail from here. You're looking from the roof of the Southern College of Optometry in the medical district in Midtown. So we are, 8, 9, 10 miles away from where the core of this storm is. But you definitely see those darkening skies there as we look back toward Turrell, Arkansas, eventually toward Millington. That is where this storm is going to be next. I do want to kind of reset for you. This is kind of the only storm we're watching, at least in our area. There are other storms now in North Mississippi, a pretty nasty storm in Prentiss County, Mississippi. That's going to be coming into Tishomingo County here in just a little bit. That is moving away from our area. I know, Corinth, you just got some rain a bit ago, but the actual strongest cell down there, that's going to be clearing our area. Really, we only have this one game in town. Everybody else is pretty dry right now. It's this one supercell that we're watching that's about to cross into northern Shelby County. So I want to zoom back into that. I don't want you to think I'm forgetting about your neighborhood if we're not talking about you. That's usually a good sign. If we're not mentioning your city, it means there's probably not much going on there. This is really what we're concerned about for right now. It's near Turrell, Arkansas. Clarkdale's right there on 55. And this is going to be crossing into northern Shelby County here in just the next little bit. I want to check back in on the wind and the rotation. And that's something we're going to have to watch here. This is, I was talking just a little bit ago about those reds and greens. They got a little too close. It gives me some concern there. And I'm starting to get a little more concerned about that near Turl, Arkansas. Again, the hail and the wind are the biggest concerns today, but it is March in Memphis. We cannot rule out tornadoes. And literally, as I say that, a tornado warning has just been issued. So what we're going to do is join CW30. Let me know when we're ready to do that and give me a countdown for CW30. And we will join those folks over there as well. Just let me know whenever we're ready. But we now have a tornado warning that has been issued, just as we were talking about that. This is going to be for northern Crittenden County. It's going to be for northern Shelby County and the southern portion of Tipton County as well. This does include the city of Millington for this storm that's coming out of northern Crittenden County, Arkansas. So if you are in Millington, if you're near Shelby Forest, if you're in Atoka, if you're in Arlington, I need you in your tornado safe place right now as this storm now is starting to show signs of a tornado. Again, we do need to get over on CW30 as well. So if we're ready to do that, or if we already are, just let me know whenever you're ready for that. Until that time comes, I just want to show you the area that I'm a little more concerned about here as we zoom on in. And again, I know this is a lot of colors on the screen, but those greens and reds, right where they're mixing together, that is an area where we could have a tornado trying to spin up. Now, fortunately, not many folks live out in this area of Crittenden County. I know there are some homes. They're widely spaced apart. This is going to stay north of Clarkdale and largely south of Turl. And you see we're right here on the Mississippi River levee. That is where this possible tornado is, and it's moving off toward the east. Let's get a storm track on this right now. I'm going to switch over to just the plain rotation mode and see if that gives us a little bit better of a bullseye of where this rotation is. Nothing great there. So what we're going to do now is let's see if we can put a storm track on this and just give you an idea of where this thing is headed and when it's going to be there. Again, if you're just checking in with us, we now have these storms coming into Tennessee, so we might want to lose this banner down here. But we do have a tornado warning that has been issued. Northern Crittenden County, Arkansas, northern Shelby County, Tennessee, the southern portion of Tipton County, Tennessee. I'm tracking out the possible rotation here. That's going to be near Cuba at 5:31. I do want to pause now and welcome our audience that's joining us on CW30. We are interrupting your normal programming there as well because we have a tornado warning that has just been issued. So now we are on ABC 24 and CW30. We're also on your phone. Just search for the ABC 24 app. We have continuing coverage there. But this is the storm track for a possible tornado, an area of rotation that is trying to develop. We don't have a report of a tornado actually touching down, but there are indications inside the storm that there could be some rotation, possibly a funnel cloud. That's near Cuba Landing at 5:31, Sloanville at 5:34, Millington at 5:39, Tipton, that's the city of Tipton, a little town there, 5:47, Atoka at 5:51, Lakeland at 5:54, Arlington at 5:59. If it holds together, eventually toward Eads by about 6:02. So it's 5:17 now. So if you're in Millington or Atoka, you've got a good 30, 45-minute heads up here to be in your tornado safe place. And I do want to remind you of what those are. It's been a minute since we've had tornado warnings in the Memphis metro. I know we had some a couple of weeks ago, but those were largely kind of outside the city of Memphis. So if you are in Millington right now, if you're in Atoka, I need you to go to your basement or your smallest center room in your house. That's a bathroom, that's a closet, anything kind of on the inside of your house. The biggest thing is you want to stay away from windows. You don't want to pick a room that has windows, and cover yourself with something. If you have a bicycle helmet for the kids, pots, pans, pillows, anything you can do to cover up your head, that is going to be what you need to do if you are inside this tornado warning. While we're mentioning that, I want to show you kind of who's in and who's out of this tornado warning. So let's get back to the radar, and I'll kind of show you this box here because the city of Memphis is not included in this tornado warning. Sometimes in Shelby County, if any portion of the county is included, they will sound the tornado sirens for the entire county. The area of concern with this storm is Shelby Forest, Millington, over toward Rosemark, and eventually toward Arlington. This is far northern Shelby County. And in fact, as we move this down just a little bit and kind of give you a wider view of where this is, Memphis is not involved in this tornado warning. If you have a City of Memphis address, you will not be impacted by this storm. Collierville, Germantown, you are clear from this particular storm. DeSoto County, nothing going on for you right now. I'm most concerned about Millington, Atoka, and Arlington. We are hearing the tornado sirens here in northeast Memphis. So just as I was kind of talking about, the sirens will go off for the entire county of Shelby, even though this is only for a small portion of the county. What I'm really concerned about now is Millington, and this storm is pretty much right on the river. That black line that you see there, that is the river. It's pretty much past Turrell and Clarkdale, at least the worst of it is. But what we do know for a fact is there is large hail in this, up to an inch, and high wind gusts of 60 plus miles an hour. Those are our biggest concerns for today. What I'm more concerned about is the hail and the wind. This particular storm has started to show some signs of rotation, which could be a precursor to a tornado. That's why they've put out this tornado warning. Again, that's for northern Crittenden, northern Shelby, and the southern portion of Tipton County, including Atoka. And that is going to go until, let me make sure I get that number right there. This is going to go until 6 p.m. there as we look at Crittenden, Shelby, and Tipton County. I do want to zoom back in here and just kind of give you a closer idea of the area that we're most concerned about the wind and the rotation. So as we switch over to our wind mode, where the brightest colors are, that's where we're seeing the highest winds. So again, this is not far from Woodstock, Cuba Landing, Shelby Forest. That's all right in there. Again, that's the Mississippi River, that black line that you see. So we're crossing from Arkansas into Tennessee, into northern Shelby County, and you see Millington right behind me. So these highest wind gusts right here crossing the river, that's going to be an issue for Millington within the next 30 minutes, as is the potential for hail. I want to investigate that tornado potential again, though, because that's really what I'm paying most attention to right now. I've said it all along. The hail and the wind are my biggest concerns. Out of this right now, what I am looking at is the wind and the direction of the wind. There's greens and reds here, and when you get them close together, it signifies some rotation. Greens going in one way, reds another. So if you get them right next to each other, it shows that something's rotating. What I'm looking at here in this radar view, there is nothing that is urgently concerning to me that says we have a tornado on the ground right now. I don't see that right at this moment. Now, the reason they went ahead and issued this tornado warning just to be safe is because just a few minutes ago, about 10 minutes ago at 5:12, I've backed the radar up. You see how much closer those greens and reds were. So we might have had something trying to spin up right there north of Clarkdale and south of Turrell just about 10 minutes ago. But as we move it forward more back to present time, you see that all kind of falls apart. There's nothing as serious right now. So they will probably keep this tornado warning in effect just to be safe. But that rotation seems to have weakened quite a bit, which is good news for northern Shelby County. The bad news is this storm is still producing extremely high wind gusts of 60 miles an hour, whether there's a tornado or not, and large hail, up to an inch of hail possible. I want to go back to our Midtown camera, just kind of set the scene for you. This is from Midtown at the Southern College of Optometry. Right there's Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, just kind of show you where we're looking at. And just to show you how far away this storm is from Memphis. We're looking all the way to the north and west, off to Shelby Forest and Millington. That's where this storm is. So this is not going to impact downtown, midtown, really any part of the city of Memphis. If you have a Memphis mailing address, this storm will not impact you. This will be north of you, but it is more of an issue for Millington at this point. And hail is still a concern. This is our hail indicator where that purple is showing up. That is a very strong indication of at least some hail. And of course, it does not take much hail to do some damage. Right on the river right now, again, right there, that is the river as we're looking at. That is about a ½ inch, if not more, larger hail. We could be looking at a ½ inch to an inch of hail, which can easily do damage. And that is going to be coming into Millington rather quickly. I want to put another storm track on it as we talk about the wind and the hail. And as I do this, I do just want to kind of reset for folks that just might be joining us. It is a busy Sunday. Folks are kind of in and out of TV, trying to check their brackets. I get it, I'm with you. But a lot of you might be tuning in now because of this tornado warning. And again, that's kind of the situation right now. We have a tornado warning that was issued for northern Crittenden County, northern Shelby County, including Millington, which is right there where it says Veterans Parkway, and a southern sliver of Tipton County, including Atoka and Rosemark until 6 o'clock. Our biggest concern with this storm was and still is the damaging wind gusts and the hail. That is still a major concern. There is a for sure sign that we are having large hail and high wind gusts coming into Millington and Shelby Forest here soon. There was a moment a couple minutes ago where we had indications that something could be trying to spin in the clouds. So as a precaution, the National Weather Service in Memphis did a great job and issued that tornado warning for northern Shelby County. It seems like that rotation has weakened a bit. There's not as much spin in the storm. So we're going to see if this tornado warning continues. I would still be in your safe place. If you're in Millington, this storm will be on you in about 15 minutes. I would take the course of least regret. Go ahead and go to the bathroom, go to your closet. If you're in Millington, if you're in Atoka, if you're near Rosemark, go ahead and go to your tornado safe place just to be on the safe side. If anything, it's 20 minutes of your day and you know that you're safe. I'd rather you be there and nothing happen than for you to be caught off guard and something did happen. So Millington, Atoka, even Arlington, I still want you to hang out in your safe place for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Again, that's a bathroom, closet, something on the lowest floor of your home and away from windows. If you're in an apartment upstairs, you need to make friends with your neighbor and go downstairs to seek shelter there. Again, I'll say it again, the biggest concern is still the damaging wind gusts and the hail. There could be a tornado that tries to spin up as well, and that's why we are on with you right now. Tracking this off again to the east, it's moving at about 40 miles an hour. Sloanville at about 534. Millington at 539. So you've still got about 10 or 12 minutes. You're probably running out of time to move your car in the garage. I told you to do that 10 minutes ago. You're probably running out of time now, but I would still be in that safe place in Millington. Atoka, you're going to get hit by the wind and the hail more than anything. Any tornado potential is mainly going to be in Shelby County. The hail and wind threat is a bit larger. The tornado potential is very isolated. That's kind of what I'm tracking out now. You see it near Rosemark by about 549. Arlington closer to 6 o'clock. And then if it holds together, it could cross into portions of Fayette County and southeastern Tipton County. I do want to investigate that rotation just a little bit more. I told you that it looked like it might be weakening just a bit. And there's definitely still a rotation signature in here. There is definitely a sign that the clouds are spinning around right in there. And again, that's right on the Mississippi River. There's Bengestown Road right there, if you're familiar with that area, north of Fraser there. Locke, Herring Hill Road in Sloanville. Not far from that, there's probably some spin in the clouds. Not seeing anything that would indicate we have a tornado on the ground at this moment. But again, it's March. Things can happen. That's why they've gone ahead and issued this. So the tornado is a potential. The hail and the wind, pretty much a surefire bet. And those can still do damage. Just kind of checking out the wind mode here. And then I'm going to go back to the hail tracker because that seems to be the biggest concern out of this storm. I know we have the tornado warning, but I'm not seeing indications of extremely strong rotation, which is good news. I still want you in your safe place just to be safe. But again, what I'm really watching is going to be the hail. And we're seeing plenty of indications of that. Nearly an inch-sized hail. That's near Herring Hill Road. There's the Shelby and Tipton County line. Here's Dixonville. Right behind me is Wilkinsville. And then Millington is right here. So you've got 385, the Paul Barrett Parkway. That hail core, the area of large hail, is pretty much coming right into Millington here in the next 10 minutes or so. So I need you away from windows, inside without a doubt, not to mention all the lightning that is out there with that storm. And of course, you've got the hail and the wind gusts as well. There's a look at the lightning, about 100 strikes. This is just in the last couple of minutes. So some very loud thunder, some very bright lightning out there. All of it is a recipe to just hang out inside for the next little bit. You see a couple more lightning strikes popping up in Tipton County right now as well, as this storm is progressing further and further into Shelby County. I will tell you, if you are in Crittenden County, I know it's still storming there. I know it's still loud. I know it's raining heavily. The worst of the storm is out of Crittenden County. The worst of it has cleared Crittenden County. Yes, I know it is still raining back there, but the storm, the area of the storm that we're concerned about, the hail and the high wind gust, is now almost fully into Shelby County, northwestern Shelby County there, and could clip the southern portion of Tipton County as well. And that is why that tornado warning has been issued. Literally, just as I say that, the National Weather Service is going to drop the tornado warning for Crittenden County. So Crittenden County, you are clear of the tornado potential. Again, I know it's still raining cats and dogs in Turl right now, but as far as any rotation, that has cleared out of northern Crittenden County. Our concern now is northern Shelby County. And as we come up on the bottom of the hour, I should say, I do want to do a reset for you for ABC 24 and CW 30. I'm meteorologist Trevor Birchett. If you're tuning into ABC expecting world news tonight, we are going to preempt that at least for the next few minutes. And this is why. We have a tornado warning for northern Shelby County, parts of Tipton County as well. That's going to go until 6 o'clock. That's really the only storm that we're watching right now. There could be more storms that develop. There probably will be over the next few hours. We have some storms in North Mississippi. Those are all clear of our area, at least the worst of them. Really some hail there in southern Tishomingo County, Mississippi. That is clear of our area. Corinth, that's moving away from you. There is some rain in North Mississippi, but really not much to be concerned about right now. Just some light showers. We do still have the potential for more storms to develop through the afternoon and the evening. So don't let your guard down. Keep an eye on things through at least 9 or 10 o'clock. But the reason we're with you right now, and really the main storm that we're watching, is that one in northern Shelby County. And I know a lot of you might be tuning in for that. I do want to remind you that we have tornado sirens going off in a large portion of Shelby County. Anytime a part of Shelby County is under a tornado warning, they sound the sirens for the entire county. So if you're in Germantown, Collierville, Memphis, down near the airport, you could be hearing tornado sirens right now. Most of Shelby County, most of Memphis is going to be clear of this storm. Actually, the entire city of Memphis will not be impacted by this storm. So if you live in a Memphis zip code, in a Memphis mailing address, you do not have to worry about this storm. It is passing off to the north of you. With that being said, here's who I am concerned about. If you are in this red box right now, I am worried about you, and I'm going to try to pop in some more smaller communities here so we can kind of shout those out just a little bit better. Of course, Millington is right there. There's Rosemark for you. I don't think I have Shelby Forest on there, but that's going to be right there in that area. So Shelby Forest really clear of the worst of this storm. It's really the heaviest of it is near Cuba right now. There's Lucy, and I think we got most of those towns on there. So there is some more good news I can share. It's not all good news, but I try to give some when I can. Atoka, you've been dropped from the tornado warning. They've pulled it down just a little bit. You're probably still going to get some high wind gusts and heavy rain, but the biggest part of this thunderstorm is going to be more of an issue for Millington. And Millington, it is literally on your doorstep. So if you are in Millington, I need you in your safe place, away from windows, in that smallest center room. Same thing for Rosemark and Arlington as well, because you're going to kind of be next in line. But again, Atoka, you've been dropped from the tornado warning. It now mainly includes the northern portion of Shelby County. And we also have, in addition to the possible tornado, very large hail. We just got a report of that from near Millington, and high wind gusts, possibly as high as 50 to 60 miles an hour. I want to go back to our hail tracker here because that seems to be the most urgent threat. I know that we have the tornado warning, but right now I don't see anything that is particularly alarming to me with this tornado threat. I'm looking at this velocity again, and I know this just looks like a lot of different colors to you, but I'm checking this to make sure we don't have any stronger signs of rotation. And for right now, I don't see anything here that is particularly alarming for a tornado potential. Now, the hail and the high wind gusts, that is for sure. But the tornado potential for now seems to have decreased just a little bit. It could ramp back up. That's why we're going to watch it. Where is this camera shot at that we're looking at? Okay, for just a second, I want to step away from this. I want to go to this live view in Arkansas if we can. This is Clarkdale Road over in Arkansas, and I want to make a bad example out of some people. And you see what's happened here. We have ASP. We have a couple of vehicles here that have stopped under Clarkdale Road. You never, ever, 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 ever want to be under an overpass during a tornado warning. That is the absolute worst place you can be. I know you want to protect your car. I get it. But that is the worst place to be, is under that overpass. We were watching to see, we might have had some flooding here as that storm came through. Again, this is I-55 near Clarkdale Road over in Crittenden County. But I just wanted to remind you, if you know someone that is driving, just tell them to stop at a gas station or a convenience store, even a McDonald's. Seek shelter there. You never want to stop under a highway overpass. That's the worst place to be because the winds actually pick up under there. And you can see the wind definitely bobbing that camera around quite a bit. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. I want to go back to the radar now and talk about that tornado warning. Of course, that's the reason we are on air with you. And what I was just saying before I jumped away is that I'm not seeing anything in here that is particularly concerning for a tornado potential. We're going to watch it very carefully, but right now I think our biggest issue is the hail and the wind. I'm not seeing a major signature of a tornado. A few minutes ago we did. Right now, it seems to have subsided just a bit as it is approaching the city of Millington. What I am much more concerned about for Millington is the extremely high wind gusts and the potential of hail that is literally knocking on Millington's door. I mean, if we zoom in here, it's going to be pretty much crossing Highway 51 right now. And the radar is going to start to look a little funky because the radar that we use is at the Naval Air Station in Millington. That is the National Weather Service government radar. They've got it there at the Naval Air Base. If you've ever been out there for the air show, it's that big, giant, white soccer ball looking thing that's on the tower. So that is where the radar is. And so the storms are going to start to look a little funny because the radar doesn't do very well when the storms are right on top of it. So we're going to start to see some funny pixels pull up here, but we're also going to have to watch because we've also had this radar go out a time or two when those storms start to get right on it. It has been struck by lightning before as well. This radar seems to have some pretty bad luck here. And as we switch over to the lightning detector, there is plenty of it around the Navy base right now. So if you're in Millington, if you're on base, if you're near Rosemark, go ahead and seek shelter. Best place to be is your bathroom, your closet, something on the lowest floor of wherever you are and away from windows. We do have that tornado warning technically until 6 o'clock. My biggest concern with this right now is going to be the hail and the high wind gusts. And with that being said, I want to go back to our hail mode here and just show you where the largest hail likely is right now. And it's that purple blob near Sloanville, West Union Road. As you're coming up to Highway 51, you've got the Kroger right there. The antique store is all right there along Highway 51. And all of that new development. You've got the new Buffalo Wild Wings up there. All those new stores that they're putting in. That's on the north side of Millington. That is where the worst of this hail is going to be. So nobody should be driving in Millington right now. If you know somebody that is, make sure they know to stop because this hail could really do some damage even if a car is parked. But right now it's west of Millington, the largest hail. And it is coming into the city of Millington literally as we speak. I do want to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this with caution. If you have a report of hail, we would like to know about it if you can do so safely. I do not want you outside in the hail. I don't want you looking out the window as it's hailing. But once the storm is clear, and once we give you the all clear, if you have some hail, we would like to know about it so we can pass it along to the National Weather Service. If you get out your phone camera and scan that code right there with your phone's camera, that's going to take you to our Facebook group, the ABC 24 Weather Watchers. And from there, once we accept you, you can post photos and videos there. And of course, we can pass that along to the Weather Service. Again, I want to re-emphasize, I do not want you taking photos as the storm is happening. You need to be in your safe place right now. But as the storm passes, if you head outside and notice a little hail on the ground, you can snap a picture of that or report it to us. Again, that's the ABC 24 Weather Watchers Facebook group. And we're trying to keep an eye on some of those reports as they are coming in just to see what is going on. I think we just got maybe a Facebook report here. I'm going to try to get this opened up and see what that is. But again, this high wind gusts, heavy rain and hail all coming into Millington pretty much right now as we speak. I will show you, this is from earlier today as the storms were just getting going in Oxford. I guess that did not update. Let's see if I can get that to update really quick. This is from, obviously not today, but Philip always sends great photos. Here's the updated version. This is from near Oxford from the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters. This is from about 2 or 3 hours ago, but that's the kind of storm that we're dealing with today, and that was just as they were developing. A very mean looking storm that kind of developed and then pushed off to the east of Oxford. That storm now is actually producing some very large hail in Tishomingo County, Mississippi, and that's going to be way down there outside of our area moving into Alabama. Our only concern right now is the storm near Memphis. What are the odds, right? Everything else is pretty quiet. There are some showers developing in North Mississippi. Those could still turn severe. Those could do the same thing this storm is doing right now. But what we're going to watch here is that potential for high wind gusts and hail, and it has to be pretty much right into Millington as we are speaking here. Let's see here. I want to take the Midtown camera. Let's go back to this because this storm is kind of passing just to the north of that. You can see there are lots of lowerings in the clouds. That might look a little concerning. A lot of this is what we call scud clouds. And those are those little clouds. You kind of see one floating around right there. There's no indication that there's a tornado on the ground right now. Some of these clouds are looking a little dark. They are looking a little scary. But from what I can see, it does not seem like there is a major indication of a tornado right now. Now, we do have the tornado warning that is still in effect until 6 o'clock. And we'll see how long the National Weather Service lets that go for. Because if this storm continues to show decreasing signs of rotation, I would think they would let this tornado warning go maybe a little early. But you can see there, this is from the Southern College of Optometry in Midtown, looking to the north and the west as this storm is coming through Millington. And you see the dark skies there, and you see the bottom of the clouds. There's nothing there poking out of that, at least nothing serious that I could see, which is good. We're going to keep an eye on this for the next little bit. I might actually try to spin it just a little bit more closer to where the meat of that storm really is. We're looking kind of north-northwest now as that camera kind of catches up with me, off toward Millington as the storm is passing through. What you see there where the clouds kind of disappear and it's just one color, that's where the heavy rain and the hail is. So right here, what you're looking at the bottom of your screen, that is going to be Interstate 40 in Memphis. So this is several miles to the north of Memphis. This is all coming through Millington right now. But again, right there on that camera view, we do not see any signs of a tornado, even though that warning is still in effect. And they're probably going to keep it in effect just to be on the safe side for at least the next 20 minutes or so, just to be on the safe side in case something does spin back up. Again, if you're just joining us, what happened was we had this storm coming through. There were indications of some rotation back near Turrell, Arkansas, just about 20 minutes ago. So they issued this tornado warning for Millington, and it seems like things might be trying to tamper down just a little bit in terms of the tornado potential. Now, the wind and the hail is a totally different story. That is still a major concern for us right now. And you can see kind of the core of that storm looking from Midtown all the way up to Millington, where those rain sheets are kind of coming down. There's probably some hail in there as well. But this storm is going to completely miss the city of Memphis, which is good news. There could be more storms later on today, but this is obviously more of an issue for Millington, Rosemark, even up toward Arlington. That's who's going to get the worst of this storm. And again, it's going to come with that potential of high wind gusts and some hail as well. I do want to try to go back here. Let's see if I can switch cameras and just kind of get another view of what is going on over here in these parts. They are going to let the tornado warning go. We had just kind of been talking about that tornado signature was decreasing, which is good. So the tornado warning will be allowed to expire. We're going to stay with you for a bit to see if they keep the severe thunderstorm warning going. We'll stay with you on the live stream, though. So I'll tell you what we'll do for just a second as we kind of reset here. I want to go back to the radar quickly, but we're about to drop out of CW. If you want to let those folks know that we're about to lose CW, we're going to send them back to regular programming. We will stay on ABC for a bit, but just kind of reset and apologize my technical notes back to the staff in the back. The tornado warning has been canceled. There is no longer a tornado warning in effect for anywhere in the Mid-South. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for some high wind gusts and hail, but any tornado potential that was out there has dissipated. Again, wind gusts and hail, a different story. That's still a big concern. But as far as the tornado warning has gone, we are going to send you back to regular programming on CW30. We'll stay with you on ABC 24 for continuing coverage. All right, we continue our coverage now on ABC 24 and on the ABC 24 Plus app. If you were expecting world news tonight, we are preempting that due to the severe weather that is rolling through parts of the Mid-South. We just talked about a tornado warning that had been canceled that was previously in effect for Millington. The signature dissipated, weakened a bit, so we're not concerned about a tornado right now, at least not out of this storm. What I continue to be concerned about is the high wind gusts and hail, and it is coming pretty much right through Millington right now. If you were with me just a little bit ago, I mentioned to you this is going right over the radar site. The National Weather Service radar for Memphis is actually at the Millington Navy base, the Naval Air Station there. And so the storm is passing right over it. And that's why it kind of looks funny. There's streaks and stuff coming out of it. The radar is having a hard time with the storm setting directly on top of it. But I can tell you that there is still very heavy rain, high wind gusts, and some hail that are likely going to be continuing into Millington. That's moving off toward the east. And another storm behind it now that could be doing much of the same. And that's going to be crossing the river right now, pretty much just east of Clarkdale, coming out of Turrell, and it's going to hit the same areas that kind of just got hit through Millington and Shelby Forest. So I am seeing now it looks like they've also canceled the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to stick with this for just a bit longer and make sure that they do not reissue it. But here soon, we could be sending you back at least to give you the second half of World News Tonight. I want to stay on for a little bit longer on the stream, but for ABC, we might be sending you back here in just a second. I do want to recap once again. Well, no, we're not. There's the new severe thunderstorm warning. They were a little late on the trigger there, issuing that. Went away for a second and came right back. So we're going to stay with you on both ABC 24 and on the live stream here. I will let you see American Idol. I'm not going to stay on that long. I know folks are worried about that, but I do want to keep tracking this thunderstorm at least for the next little bit as it's coming through the populated areas of northern Shelby County and near Shelby Forest. So that is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. That's that new polygon, that yellow box you see there. This is going to go for Shelby, Fayette, Tipton, and for a part of Crittenden County, actually, until 6:30. So this warning now goes until 6:30. You see the areas that it includes. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. If you're in West Memphis or the city of Memphis, this storm is not for you. This is not going to have an impact on you at all. This is a northern Shelby County situation. It's going to be more of an issue for Millington and Arlington, also even Lakeland, possibly just to the north of Lakeland. Those storms are passing by there. Really Atoka, the worst of it, south of you as well. You were in that tornado warning a bit ago, but it seems like they have dropped that just to the south, where the heaviest of that storm is going to stay mainly in Shelby County. I want to go back to our camera here and just kind of see what's going on. This was a look at East Memphis. This is from near the Eastgate Shopping Center. And again, it's dry as a bone right now at Eastgate in East Memphis. This is at Poplar and Park and Mount Moriah. All that stuff's right there. The Home Depot. There's TJ Maxx and Crunch Fitness is right behind me. So you see the darkening skies off in the distance, but it's dry here. And it's going to stay dry in Memphis for now. This storm will not impact the city of Memphis. There are more storms coming. There could be more storms that are developing, but it does seem like, at least for right now, this particular storm will not be an issue for Memphis. This is going to go to the north of you. We got a little bit of a better view of it from the Midtown camera. This is 12 stories up on top of the Southern College of Optometry, and you see the base of that storm there, those really dark storm clouds there, and the hail and the wind coming out of that. I want to see if I can zoom this out maybe even a little bit more here. These new cameras, these are brand new to ABC 24. We have a great partnership with some businesses around town, Southern College of Optometry, Royal Furniture, and Hope Church. They've let us put these cameras up to kind of give you a heads up as to what the storm is doing and what's happening so that you can stay inside. You don't have to go outside and look at it. So let's see if I can zoom this out anymore. I think we might be out as far as we can go. But you're looking due north. There's Crosstown Concourse right there. You're looking 8 or 9 miles to the north, right into that storm that's coming into Millington and posing that risk of high wind gusts and some hail. We're going to keep an eye on that camera there as we switch back to the radar and just kind of set the scene one more time. The storm is passing Millington now, at least the first one. So we're getting a little bit of a better view as it clears the radar site. The radar is going to start to give us better views of this thing again. But there's Barrettville right along Highway 14. This is mainly going to be north of the Paul Barrett Parkway. At least the worst of it is going to be kind of between Paul Barrett Parkway and the Tipton-Shelby County line. So Arlington, the worst of it probably just to the north of you, but still a hail potential in there without a doubt. And then there's this other storm that just developed. It's going to come through kind of the same areas and pose the same risk of high wind gusts and hail. So Millington, you have a break right now. Woodstock, Cuba, north of Fraser on 51. You have a break, but this next storm is rolling in, and it's going to kind of bring the same thing. It's a 1-2 punch. Millington, you're done with one. The next one is coming in, and that is going to bring that potential of some high wind gusts and hail as well. So stay where you are, hunker down for just a little bit longer, and let this second storm roll on by. That's what they've issued this new severe thunderstorm warning for, and it is also producing a risk of some hail. So as we look at the hail tracker, there's Storm 1 that produced the hail. It still is on Austin Peay Highway. Here's Storm 2 just crossing the river north of Shelby Forest, north of Fight Road. That's going to bring in possibly a little bit more hail for the city of Millington. So Millington, stay where you are. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning that is going to be in effect for you as well. I do want to try to check the Facebook comments. I always try to do that, and I apologize that I have not. I'm going to try to get back over here. So I want to let you know I'm on Facebook. Going to try to keep an eye on these comments and just see if anybody has any reports or anything like that coming through. So if you have anything, please let us know. Again, we don't want you outside in the middle of this, but if we get past it and you see some hail on the ground, you can let us know right there. Again, you can also join the ABC 24 Weather Watchers Facebook group. So that's storm number 1. We're watching another storm here that the National Weather Service is also watching. This is in southern Quitman County. So two areas that we're watching. We've got those 2 storms, sister storms kind of in northern Shelby County. That is going to be one near Shelby Forest coming to Millington, one just past Millington coming to Arlington. So it's going to be a 1-2 punch for northern Shelby County with a risk of high wind gusts and hail. Those will stay north of Memphis. It's going to be more for Millington, but something to watch. We're also watching this little guy down here in southern Quitman County, and that's something that the Weather Service is starting to watch as well. This is mainly going to be to the south of Marks, just south of Highway 278. Kind of a baby storm, a growing storm, but it does already have indications of some pretty decent hail right there. So I would not be surprised if they also put out a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. Again, this is southern Quitman County, just to the south of Marks. That's going to be continuing to the east out toward Enid Lake, Pope, probably south of Batesville. But this one actually could have some slightly larger hail even than the Shelby County storm that we were just watching. So there's a closer view. Again, I know we're zoomed in really close. This is in southern Quitman County. There's Lambert. Marks is to the north of you. Chancey right along 321. That's where this hail is near Denton and Highway 3. And again, as we say that, there's our new severe thunderstorm warning. We were just talking about that the National Weather Service was probably going to do that. So we have another severe thunderstorm warning now for southern Quitman County, also southern Panola County as well. And that is going to go until, let's see here, this one is going to go until 6:30. So a severe thunderstorm warning, likely some hail falling just south of Lambert, Mississippi in Quitman County. That's going to be coming into Pope and near Enid Lake in the next little bit. I can't imagine there's too many people out there right now, but if you know anybody that is, you might want to give them a heads up that this storm is headed in their direction. Let me zoom out just a little bit. I can do that storm track again. For this storm here. It's kind of going to be just south of our area. So this is going to be near Pope at 611. That's right there on 55 south of Batesville. Long Branch at 620. And then eventually toward Water Valley and Taylor, just to the south of Oxford. So it looks like this particular storm is going to be south of Oxford. But if you're closer to the southern county lines of Panola and Lafayette counties, that's where you could see some high wind gusts and hail. No tornado potential with this right now. I know we had that warning earlier, but we do not have any tornado warnings in effect right now. The storms that we're watching, we've got 3 of them now. It's high wind, gusts, and hail. Those are the biggest concerns, but I would definitely be inside. Try to get your car inside, too, if you're near Pope and then over toward Water Valley. So that is storm number 1. And as we head back to the Memphis Metro, I'll show you storms 2 and 3. They're kind of back to back here. One just came through Millington. It's coming into Arlington. And another storm really beefing up now. I'm really getting more concerned about that storm possibly kind of, getting some of the energy from this one and intensifying a little more, maybe producing some larger hail. That's going to just come into Millington as well. So I know Millington, you just had the heavy rain and hail. Looks like we have another storm behind it that is going to kind of try to do the same thing. So Millington, you've got about 5 or 10 minutes before that storm rolls in. Again, I know a lot of folks here, most of our viewers are in the city of Memphis. If you are in the city limits of Memphis, these storms will miss you. This will be to the north of you. Millington, Arlington, maybe Lakeland, but probably a little further north than that. And then out toward Mason, Tennessee, that's where this first storm is going. I want to watch this next storm, though, because it seems like it is really trying to beef up here. Just as it is crossing into the city of Millington. So this is kind of going to be the same thing. We're going to do it all over again. Round 2 with the potential of some hail. You see a little bit of an indication there. That might be a couple of minutes behind. It probably is. The actual hail core is probably a little closer to right in here, north of Woodstock, over toward Fight Road is in there. But Millington, I do want to let you know, I know we just had that storm roll through. You have another one coming in right behind it, pretty much right now. And that is going to be in your neighborhood in Millington and even out toward Woodstock, maybe northern portions of Fraser as well, just in the next couple of minutes. There you see Raleigh-Millington Road, right where it splits off down to the south, and then Paul Barrett Parkway's there right near 51. So that next storm, it's coming into Millington right now, and we should get a pretty good view of this one again from the Midtown camera, and you see that base of the storm right there. The high wind gusts, the hail, the heavy rain, that's all in that sheet of rain that you see off to the north. So it's dry right now in Midtown. Let's see if we can move this camera around just a little bit. Might get a better view, honestly, if we pan to the east just a little bit with that line of storm. So this is now further off to the east as we're looking toward East Memphis, over toward Bartlett in just a little bit as this camera adjusts. But again, the gist of this is going to be all north of the city of Memphis. I know we have some very dark clouds right now throughout Memphis, throughout Shelby County. This is a storm coming through Millington and the Arlington area. It's going to be very north of Memphis, but you see it is definitely dark out there. Might even have some darker skies as we move off toward the west. I'm going to bring this camera back just a little bit. Closer to look toward downtown and Midtown, and you can really see the base of that storm there. Really an incredible view. This camera will pick up here in just a minute. It takes a minute for the internet to catch up once I move it. But that second storm, so that's the first storm. This is the second storm. We flipped it back to the west. So there's downtown on the bridge. You see Le Bonheur is right there. The back end of that northern Shelby County storm is rolling through now, and that's going to bring more hail and more wind to the city of Millington. So Millington, you're unfortunately going to do it all over again with this big blob of thunderstorm that is rolling through here in just the next little bit. I'm going to do a storm track on both of these here. And again, I don't want you to get confused because some of the cities that I'm about to do will show up for both storms. They're kind of following back to back with one another. I'm going to track this one first. It's coming into Mason right now. And as we do a storm track on that, this thing's moving at about 40 miles an hour off toward the east. So as we track this out for the next 45 minutes, this first storm is just coming into Arlington at about 5:57. Lambert, that's Lambert in northern Fayette County at about 6:08. Fayette Corners at 6:23, and then Whiteville at 6:34. So that storm now just getting ready to come into northern Fayette County. Then we have storm number 2 that is going to kind of follow in its footsteps. So again, some of the same cities are about to pop up again, but it's because this storm is kind of following in the same area. So Millington, you're about to get it again. You're probably already getting it right now at 5:57. Rosemark at 6:09. Arlington at 6:16. Galloway at 6:20. As we get toward Miller, a little closer to 6:49. And that's going to be also through northern portions of Fayette County. So while there is not a tornado with this, we had the tornado warning earlier that was expired. What we are more concerned about now is the hail and the high wind gusts. So a heads up to you there if you are in the northern portion of Shelby County with both of those storms rolling in. Now is a great time, if you haven't already, to download the ABC 24 app. It is a free download. Just search ABC 24 in the App Store or Google Play. You can also text the word app to that number on your screen, 901-321-7520. Just text app to that. We'll give you a link to it. But we have our live stream there. As long as we're streaming, we'll be on the app. We also have the radar there, the hour-by-hour forecast, all kind of good stuff for you. The best thing is if the power goes out, you can still watch our stream and stay connected. And there is plenty of lightning that could knock out some power. So we're going to watch that. It does look like we do have some hail coming down near Lambert. This was about 10 minutes ago. We were just telling you about that storm. So for just a moment, I'm going to leave these storms. I think I've said just about all I can about those two. Hail and high wind gusts, northern Shelby County, Arlington, Millington. You're about to get it again, and that's going to continue to the east. So just stay inside, stay away from windows for the next little bit with that hail potential and the high wind gusts. I'm going to zoom out and check out our other storm, our one other little storm way down here in southern Quitman County, because we have a report now coming in of some hail just to the south of Lambert. And that's what we were just talking about just a few moments ago. Near Lambert and just south of it, south of Marks, that cell pretty much on the Quitman, Panola County line. Yalobusha County is right down here. So that's going to move off more to the east. There's Enid Lake there. So this is going to come pretty close to that. And it's going to cross I-55 near Pope, Mississippi, just to the south of Batesville. So this thing is dropping some hail. We have a report of it. I have a picture here in the chat. I will try to get it for you here in just a little bit. But that storm moving off to the east. So a heads up for Pope. You're going to have some hail that is going to come in. Looks like to me about maybe dime to quarter-sized hail with that signature there that is right on the Panola and Quitman County line. I'll track that out for you as it is moving to the east. It's about 40 miles an hour. Again, that's going to be near Pope at 6:16. So 15 minutes, Pope, before you get some hail and high wind gusts, and eventually toward Water Valley at 6:43. So if you're traveling down in that area, I know that a lot of people take that way to go down toward Tupelo. If you're coming from Oxford, you probably want to stay in for the next little bit. I do think this hail is probably going to go south of Oxford. I don't think it's necessarily going to go right into the city. You just barely see the OX of Oxford right there off the side of the screen. This is going to be moving pretty much due to the east. So while Oxford is probably going to get some high wind gusts and maybe a little heavy rain, I do think the biggest hail concern is going to be south of you. So there's Oxford right there, and that hail concern is going to be down more toward Water Valley once you get to the south of Oxford. All right, let's reset here. We are at the top of the hour. You're watching WATN TV, ABC 24 Memphis. We are interrupting our normal programming for severe weather coverage. We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings and one tornado warning so far for Shelby County. And we are on the air with you because of severe thunderstorm warnings that continue. We do not have any tornado warnings right now. Those have been allowed to expire. There is a tornado watch through 11 o'clock. That means watch out. It could happen. But right now, there are no active tornado threats, no tornado warnings in effect. I've been telling you all along, my biggest concern was the hail and the high wind gusts. And there's a 100% bet that that's happening. We've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. One of those down there, I'm going to keep it on this wide view just so you can get your bearings straight. Severe thunderstorm warning for southern Quitman, southern Panola County. That is due to some hail near Lambert, Mississippi. That's going to come near Pope and cross Interstate 55 in just the next little bit. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. It's the northern portion of Shelby County due to a storm, a couple of storms actually, that are producing high wind gusts and hail that are going to be near Millington right now. So Millington just had one storm go through, another storm rolling into Millington. Both of these probably producing some hail. I'm going to start out with this one that's now getting ready to cross into Fayette County. Definitely a mean storm just north of Arlington. Arlington, you're barely missing the worst of it. Still getting some heavy rain, though. Mason's right there, Blue Oval City, not far from here. And there's Lambert, Tennessee. I know we were just talking about Lambert, Mississippi. This is Lambert, Tennessee, out here near Somerville and Yum Yum, just off of Interstate 40 in Fayette County. So that storm crossing right now from Shelby County to Fayette County. There's the county line right there. So that is crossing off there. It's going to be north of 64. So if you're in Oakland or Somerville, you're not going to have to worry about this thing. This is going to be northern Fayette County, but it still poses the same threats that we've been talking about. The high wind gust and the potential for a little bit of hail as well. Let's actually check out the hail tracker. We'll show you what's going on. It seems like maybe things have decreased just a little bit. We had a big blob of purple not too long ago out toward Millington, and we did have some ground truth that we had a little bit of hail as well. It seems like the hail threat may be weakening just a little bit. It could be some small pea-sized hail, but that is a welcome sign that it seems like this first storm might be losing a little bit of momentum with that hail threat coming on down. Winds also could be a concern. I'm not seeing any extreme winds in this. I know this is kind of a lot of colors here, but this is just showing us the wind intensity. The brighter the colors here, the stronger the winds are. Nothing in that storm looks particularly impressive. It's definitely a heavy storm north of Arlington right now, crossing into northern Fayette County, but it might be on the decline just a little bit. The hail seems to be decreasing, and the wind gusts might be decreasing just a little bit, but still heavy rain and plenty of lightning out there. Almost 200 strikes of lightning out there to the north of Arlington, right there off of 79, going up toward Mason and Blue Oval City. But there's this other storm that is right now just coming into Millington. And again, if you were with us a bit ago, I told you that when storms come into Millington, they kind of lose a good view because the radar is at the Navy base in Millington. So if you've ever been out that way, you see the big dome, the white soccer ball looking thing. That's our radar that we use from the National Weather Service. And when the storms go by it, it kind of messes up that data just a little bit. So that's why the radar is looking funny with all these lines in it. We're not going to get a great view of this storm until it passes Millington. But there is definitely some high wind gusts, probably some more hail coming into Millington. I know you were just hit not too long ago, but there are more indications of some high wind gusts, maybe a little hail. Those indications might be coming down just a little bit, which certainly would be some welcome news. But there could definitely be some high wind gusts in there as well. Let's go back to the Midtown camera. We have some darkening skies in much of the city of Memphis. One little shower right there trying to develop, it looks like, right on the other side of the river. But like we said, these two storms in Shelby County, they're going to miss the city of Memphis. Memphis is pretty much bone dry right now. The worst of this is all off toward Millington. But I know we see the darkening skies from Memphis. So if you're tuning in with us, maybe a little scared in Memphis, you don't have to be. These storms are going away from us. They're up to Millington. But I know it does look a little dark. It does look a little crazy out there right now. We'll swing the camera around because you can see kind of where the heaviest storm starts. Right there, you see it go from light and it gets dark. That's where we have the heavy rain and probably some hail falling right over Millington now. We'll swing it around a little bit more. Again, we've got a couple of storms going in here. But once you swing it further, the whole base of the storm kind of gets taken over by that rain shaft, as we call it. And that's where the heaviest rain and the hail is. Fortunate news is we do not have a tornado concern with this storm anymore. I know we had a warning a bit ago, but all of our storms right now, kind of as expected, seem to be mainly a hail and a wind threat. We have no potential of a tornado for right now. We do have a tornado watch that is in effect. That goes through 11 p.m. And I explained when we first started, the biggest concerns would be the hail and the wind. They've issued that tornado watch because there is a slim potential of a tornado. Anytime there's at least a slim chance, they're going to go ahead and put out that tornado watch just to cover everybody, just to make sure you're aware. But I don't think tornadoes are a huge concern for us today. The hail and the high wind gusts, those are probably going to be a little bit of a different story for us. I'll see if we can swing this around just a little bit more, get a better view of some of these clouds out here. Again, you're looking at our new camera here. We appreciate the folks at Southern College of Optometry for letting us house this up on their 12-story roof there in the medical district in Midtown. It gives us great views of these storms as they're rolling through. There you see Crosstown Concourse off in the distance with that storm, again, several miles north of Memphis, producing the high wind gusts and hail. And definitely some dark, scary-looking skies in Memphis. Don't get me wrong about that. I know it looks a little crazy out there, but those storms are all passing off to our north. And for right now, it doesn't look like we're going to get any storms for Memphis, at least not at this moment. We have plenty of time to go where there's a lot of storm energy to work with. But for right now, the storms are mainly going to be up in the northern portion of Shelby County. Even then, Like I talked about a bit ago, these storms might be on a weakening trend. A bit ago, we had pretty good indications of hail in Millington. I'm going to see if we can get some photos of that. But for right now, I'm not seeing major signs of hail. This is all from the first storm. These are your hail tracks over the last couple of hours. And this actually started way over in eastern Arkansas. So we had this storm start just to the north of Parkin, Arkansas. There's Earl right there along Highway 64. So we had some pretty good-sized hail right there at I-55 in Turl. It crossed the river and then came through Millington. But as we switch to the current hail mode, we do not see major signs of hail, which is great news. I know we have the box on there. That's the severe thunderstorm warning, but there's nothing lighting up inside of the storm to indicate that there is any hail. So that is good news. It seems like this storm is weakening. And with that, some even better news. It seems like the National Weather Service will cancel this severe thunderstorm warning, and they just did. So in just a moment, we'll let you get back to your regular programming. But I do just want to recap kind of one more time. This storm seems to be weakening in northern Shelby County, northern Fayette County. It is still a loud storm producing some high wind gusts, some hail, and some thunder and lightning without a doubt, especially out there near Blue Oval City right now, just south of Mason. I know it's really coming down. There could be some small hail, but it doesn't look like there's a potential for destructive hail anymore. These storms could still ramp up, who's to say, but we're going to watch them for the next little bit. Good news is for now, the hail and the wind threat have weakened, and there is no severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Memphis and Shelby County. We do still have one severe thunderstorm warning that is in the far southern portion of our area near Pope, Mississippi. This is in Panola County, right on Highway Interstate 55 and Highway 51. There's probably some hail out there. That's going to be passing toward the east, so heads up Pope. You will likely get in on some hail here in the next little bit as well. Now, I do want to remind you, we do have a tornado watch that is in effect for all of the Mid-South, and this watch is going to go through 11 p.m. tonight, if it's not canceled a little early. But everybody is under that tornado watch for right now through 11 p.m. There could be some more storms that develop, so if you haven't gotten a storm yet, there could be more storms on the way. I would say at least through 9 or 10 p.m. We're going to keep an eye on the radar. High wind gusts and hail, the biggest concerns today. There is a low potential of a tornado, and that is why that watch is in effect. Of course, the quickest way to stay ahead of the storm is with that ABC 24 app. We will let you know the second another warning is issued if it does happen. Hopefully not. But if you download that app, we will send you that alert as it comes out. You can also join us on ABC 24 Plus. That is our 24-hour streaming channel. That's a free download for Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. So if you've cut the cord, that's a great option for you to stay ahead of the weather. We do extended live streams there as the storms are rolling in. So if you want to keep up with us there, we will keep the updates coming. But for right now, the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire for the city of Millington and for northern Shelby County. So we will send you back to your regular programming. Of course, if more weather breaks, we'll be right here with more updates.